have an age difference. We have life differences.
This is how you should live your life.
I got the faith. Because to get the faith,
Got it. Well, let's jump into this.
this is the Old School, New School podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go, Will.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Old School, New School podcast. I am Will Charles Egan, and as always,
Hello, Chris Meekins.
we have a special guest,
Very special.
very special guest. Care to introduce yourself, my friend?
Yes, sure. My name's Griffin Meekins. I'm Papa Chris's grandson. I'm from Ohio. I'm doing this today because this is my last day in Florida, Sarasota.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
You're leaving.
Wow.
You're going back home to Ohio?
Yep, at 2 o'clock.
Oh,
Okay.
this kid's smart.
Well, here's what we had to do. We had something in mind. Well, I had something in mind.
Right.
Will's like, what?
I'm like, excuse me?
What's going on? I go, I got a 9-year-old grandson that wants to be an influencer,
Right.
and that's what you want to be when you grow up, right?
Well, I don't want to, but if it so happens to be that I end up as an influencer, I won't complain.
And so I asked Griffin, what would he talk about? If he was on a podcast and talking to people, what did you say?
It'd mainly be gaming.
Of course. Because that's what all the youngins are doing these days.
Yes, every little kid have podcasts, and they're doing it. They're just doing stuff they want.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody has a
Yes.
podcast. Everybody's got a Switch. Everybody's gaming on the iPad. You know, we're no different. We have our own podcast here.
I'm 67. He's 22. You're 9.
Right,
We all
yeah.
have one thing in common.
We like podcasts.
We like podcasts.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game?
Ooh, if I had to say, it'd either be Roblox or Fortnite.
Of course. What else? You know, what else are kids doing these days?
I'm like really the only kid I know at my school that plays this game called One Piece Bounty Rush.
One Piece Bounty Rush.
Have you ever heard that?
No, but is it anything to do with the TV show One Piece?
Yes.
Ah, so you know about the One Piece. He gets it.
I'm on like episode 82 or something like that.
Oh, you're watching One Piece. Well, I wish you good luck because that is a long show. To our older audience, you're probably wondering,
Never heard of it.
what is going on right now? This is like, I speak two languages. I speak adult and I speak kid. And I'm like kind of flip-flopping between languages. So Chris, you might get left in the dust here.
I'm like lost right now. I'm like lost. So what else do these kids do nowadays?
Yeah. What are some of the things that like elementary schoolers are doing these days
So,
that's
like,
really popular?
I know my little siblings, when we get home, my other 2 siblings, I have other 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing something right now at school, I bet. So what they're doing is they're playing outside right now,
Nice.
but all they do is just talk and talk. And one time I went to the playground with them.
Uh-huh.
All they did was yap at me,
Yeah.
Nothing but yapping.
and they wouldn't leave me alone. I saw one of my friends, they would not leave me alone.
So is that why you do gaming?
Yes, because then I can talk to my friends without them knowing.
Okay. It's funny hearing some of the words that they use. Like you say your friends are yapping or your brothers and sisters are yapping. It's like, come on, dude, they're just yapping.
Yeah. What was the word you used last? Oh my God! We're talking about something last night about it was old school thought, but it was it's all changed now.
Was it skibbity by any chance?
No.
No skibbity?
No.
What's some slang? What's some words that young people use that we don't know about yet?
So River used this word called Sigma.
Sigma. How old is River?
4.
4-year-olds are already using Sigma?
Yes.
Oh my
By your
goodness.
mouth. Put it by your mouth.
She's
we
using the
are
word
done.
skibbity.
Yep.
She's using the word Ohio Riz,
Yep.
which I have no idea what that is.
You don't know what that is.
I
Okay.
really don't know.
That's good.
The only thing I know is Sigma. That's
Right.
it.
Sigma.
But she keeps on telling me this stuff. It's annoying.
See, I could unpack what all of this means to you, but maybe we do that later.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Very much
So,
later.
do any of your siblings have Ohio Riz or do they have Skibbity Riz?
Okay, so one of my other siblings, Olivia, she has Skibbity Riz.
Okay.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Sorry, we're having our own
Oh,
language
okay. I'll let you
conversation
guys
right now.
finish.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maverick has Sigma Riz.
Okay, lit, dude.
He will be laughing
Yeah,
no matter what.
that's
Me and
That's
him
so
the other
skibbity.
day, me and him were playing this game called Peekaboo. I pop up,
Yeah.
and I pop back down, and he would just giggle.
nice,
It was hilarious.
dude. Peekaboo is all the rage with kids these days. So
Especially
What is
the
Peekab-
babies.
yeah, oh yeah.
Especially.
So what was the first game that you ever played, Will?
Oh boy, the first game I remember when I really was like, I wanted to be like everybody else, and everybody had a DS. Do any of your friends have a 3DS? He doesn't even know what that is.
I
Wow.
don't think they do. I think my friend Max, he has like a couple. He's been playing with stuff forever. He has
Okay.
like a Game Boy. I haven't seen it yet.
Hmm.
He keeps it in his room. I don't
That's
know
cool.
where. I've never been in his room.
Wow.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
where
so
it is.
Game Boy was one that was like a little bit before, like when I was 4 or 5, Game Boy was a thing, and then when I was a kid, it was the DS, and that was like my first gaming system. It was a little handheld flip-up thing, and there was Pokemon, there was Super Mario, all Nintendo stuff, and then I had an Xbox 360, that was my generation's amazing console, and now it's like dinosaur technology. And then I had a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One, and it was games like, I played Uncharted, or I played Minecraft on console and on PC a lot. And this is what was, I mean, if anybody my age is watching, they'd be like, oh yeah, everybody was doing that. No, but you guys, you play like, I mean, some of you played Minecraft, yes?
Yes, we still do.
Okay, that's good.
But like, it's not a normal thing. Like nobody plays it nowadays.
Right.
No,
Like
no.
my cousin will invite me to his one block server, and I'll play it.
Right.
But it just.
But it's painful.
Yeah, all you do is just mine diamonds. We already have like
Right.
a full diamond set of armor, and we barely even use it.
So what's the point after that?
There's no point.
Exactly. There's
You
nothing.
then after that we just build a house, and then we're done.
Exactly. And there's nothing left to do.
So what do you play now?
Then like we'll play Roblox.
Roblox. Yeah.
He doesn't have Fortnite, so I'll just leave the call and play Fortnite.
See, I played Roblox when I was a kid. I remember my first account I created in 2010, which was 14 years ago, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I played like an old school version of Roblox, and now he's still playing. But Roblox looks completely different now than what it used to look like.
They're doing an innovation reward.
Oh, what's that?
Is so like it's the top games, the new experiences, the best PvP games. They're doing all that.
Right.
So now what they're doing is every day they're doing like games mainly for like the fun.
Okay.
Because this happens every single year. It's repeated.
Oh, it's like an award show kind of thing.
Yep.
Got it. That's sick.
So who's your favorite influencer?
If I had to say in the innovation award, or like
Just in general,
Just in
social
general.
media.
it'd probably have to be Preston Plays or Poke.
Okay.
TV.
I know one of those. I know Preston plays. He's big. He's big with Gen Alpha. But Poke, I've never heard of. What games does he play?
He plays like Roblox.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll do like real life content. Sometimes he'll have like news that he'll have to say.
Okay.
He'll have like bad news but some good news on it.
Okay. So he's diversified. He does a lot of different things.
So what does an influencer do? Okay, so this is for all you old guys that happen to be still on listening to this. An influencer is someone that just talks to you about a game?
No.
Yeah, what would you call an influencer?
An influencer is a person that films videos. They like games. They're good at games. They'll play games that you know or you don't know. They'll show you the games. They'll see if you like it.
Right.
Especially, like, if I watched, like, Ali A or something playing Call of Duty, I would never do that.
Right.
Never, ever.
I never watched Ali A either.
I've watched Ali A, but Call of Duty, never.
Oh, okay.
Never,
got it.
ever.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
It's too violent and bad. Call of Duty, it's gonna make
I'll
you...
tell you this afterwards, at the
Okay.
end.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
ooh.
We'll wrap it up. Tell us at the end. We're at the end now.
Yeah, what's up?
So, my friend Max, he was playing a Call of Duty game, and someone said something really mean. Like, he was going against somebody. They said the F word.
No
no.
way.
No way. No way.
Oh no.
I'm like, bro, what the heck? And
Like, oh, bro, what the F?
Bro, what the F?
And then the baddest part happened.
Uh-oh.
They literally
Put it by
got
your mouth.
reported,
Oh, okay.
and then they got banned. And then they made another account, but they couldn't make it because they got blocked.
Well, dang, that's good.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, it's interesting take on you, too.
Yeah, right.
How
And
much?
I'm
Young
mad.
too, okay.
How much you know about each other?
Right. Yeah, without having ever met.
What I am noticing, though, that the heat does not do well for you. Does
No,
it?
absolutely. I am dripping in sweat right now. I am drenched. Are you sweating over there?
A little bit.
I am
But
dripping.
like the other day, I'm kind of sad.
Yeah,
We
this
went
is.
to Columbus,
Uh-huh.
and we went for the Columbus Crew game.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The next morning, my mom's car was like broken into.
Oh, no.
But it was the new Key N,
Okay.
the 2022 one, so they couldn't break into it.
But they did?
But they tried. Yeah.
Yeah, but they thought they could hotwire it,
Hmm.
but they couldn't. And if you break through the back window, it won't think that you're breaking in. It just thinks you're getting back into the car. And they left the car running, and the door unlocked, and the front window down.
Oh well.
Down in Ohio.
Well, listen, Griffin. When you fly back, we'd love to have you again.
Yeah, sure.
And we're gonna watch for you to have your own Griffin Meekins
The
podcast.
Griffin Meekins podcast.
Well, Marin already has like a YouTube channel.
Well, we're gonna have to start a new one for you.
Everybody, go check out the Meekins family. Go check it
We'll
out.
put it in the description.
We'll put it in the description.
It'll
Have
be
a
down in
great
the
day,
description.
man.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, we're back. And it's just us right now. We're going to talk about
We're gonna talk about what we talked
whatever
about.
that was.
Yeah. we just had a. If you didn't see it,
We had Griffin Meekins on.
Griffin, my grandson.
Yes.
He's
over there.
he's over there to the left. We were talking about the age difference, just
Yes.
even in gaming.
Right. Oh, yeah. Even in simple social things like that, it's like not that much of a difference between him and me. And it's already like, what? There's a couple of things where I was like, what? With specific games. Because, you know, I played this one game, Roblox. He plays Roblox. Obviously, I don't play it anymore because it's for kids. And I don't do that anymore.
Yes, I'm
But-
an adult.
Yeah. But it was like, yeah, I understand some of what he's talking about. And then like the other language we were speaking, which to you, I'm sure was
They
like,
were talking
what's
about stuff I
happening?
had no clue what they were talking about.
Oh yeah, well, because there's this one meme. So you know what memes are. Gen Alpha, which is him. Generation Alpha. I'm literally dripping sweat. This is hilarious. Gen Alpha has their first meme that is like their own thing, and it's just absolute gibberish, and we call it brain rot because it feels like brain rot. I'm sure he gets it.
Everything is brain rot.
Right, but we'd say stuff like, "Oh yeah, he's got Skibbity Ohio Riz," you know, and you'd be like, "Excuse me?"
Yes. I
What?
have no clue. I'm having a hard time with this gal that they're on the internet.
Right. Who? What's her name? Is it Addison Rae?
No, it's
D'Amelio twins?
Matu.
Matu? See, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know. There's this person, but anyway,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what are they even talking about?
And some people, they look at that and they go, "Oh, this generation's going to destroy the world. It's all over. You know, the kids are going to be the ones to bring down our society because they're all stupid and they don't know anything." But it's like, well, to be fair, every generation says that about the kids.
Yes.
Like,
It's been going on forever.
yeah, you said it about my generation,
Yeah.
which,
we
to
wore
be
jeans to school, and it was going to ruin everything.
fair. Right. Are you serious?
Oh yeah,
Jeans
There was
gonna-
in my lifetime.
No
you were
way.
not allowed to wear jeans to school.
Now, if you're not wearing jeans, it's like, what are you doing? Please wear jeans.
So, how do you think that like in our society today, do you think that that's part of the division? I mean, it's always been a division. We're just able to understand it a little bit more now.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand what's going on with Will right now, we're sitting outside in 95-degree weather.
Yeah.
My house is
Yeah.
filled with people. There was 11 people in there.
Was that really?
Yeah.
It felt like it. Yeah.
Usually, it's pretty tidy.
Mm-hmm.
It was not.
It was not this time. Which, it's good. It's fun, not dysfunctional, but fun, crazy family.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. But
No,
anyway, okay,
yeah.
So we're sitting outside. That's what's going on.
That's
here.
why I'm dripping with sweat currently, and I'm going to have to wash everything I'm wearing, even my shoes. No, but the great and storied philosopher Tim Dillon, he's a comedian. He has a book, and it's about boomers. I forget the title of the book, but it's Baby Boomers, the generation that like destroyed the world. But his whole thing is like, he talks a lot about the difference in generations, and obviously he's not like a Christian pastor.
No, he's not
at all. But I think he has an interesting point, because he's also just a really smart guy. He really does a good job unpacking the differences in generations. So like with baby boomers, for example, he says one of the statements to just completely encapsulate the baby boomers is like a 60-some-year-old retiree with a martini at a pool deck going, you know, this pool needs a pool cage, and it really is upsetting me, the fact that this pool doesn't have a pool. And so it's just like, the whole thing with baby boomers is it's like they're all now at the end of their life, and they care about trivial things.
Yeah, and they have a lot of disposable income.
Exact. And they hold their houses until the day they die, and they don't give back the wealth. And so he has all these gripes with boomers, and obviously there's good boomers out there, but and then after boomers was Gen X, so that's my parents. And so Generation X is like, you know, trying to figure out, because their parents were the boomers, it's like trying to figure out how to raise a kid and what to do with the kid. And then those were the millennials, and everybody was talking about, you remember how everybody would blame the millennials?
My gosh, it was like millennials are the problem.
Right. And those
and then we had Trump and Biden. And
right.
then now we know what the problem is.
Yeah, now the boomers are the problem. But it was funny because it was like Gen X raised the millennials, and now it's like, well, those are your kids, and you're blaming them for being the problem.
It is.
Boomers.
It's really difficult, because you're like, man, you need to go to making peace with your past.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute, you're my son.
Right. You are my past, and you're my future. And then the millennials are raising Gen Alpha, which is Griffin, because your kids are millennials, I think, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so Gen X raised my generation, which is considered like the most nihilistic, or like, you know, anti-establishment, really. So, I mean, one of the big things that marks Gen Z is now we're all starting to go to college, and there's a large percentage of us who are either dropping out of college or just not going at all and doing alternate routes of, you know, career paths. A lot of us don't go to college because you could be an entrepreneur without any college experience, or you can go to a trade school.
And we were talking about that this morning. My son and I went. It's been awesome sitting around talking with my kids, but it's like, you know, you look at a lot of entrepreneurs. They're not college educated people,
right? Yeah,
they're people that took a chance.
Sure, yeah,
took
the
a risk.
college dropout types. Yeah, and so that's kind of where we are as.
It's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're
somewhat.
like, I want to be a writer.
Right,
I want to be.
That was never a thing if you were like a baby boomer. It was like,
well,
I've
never heard anybody that said they want to be a writer.
Right.
Ever. You might be the first person. I've met writers.
Yes, right. But they don't go around touting, I want to be a writer.
Right.
You know, they would say, I'm going to be a life insurance salesman, and then I'm going to do writing on the side quietly, and if it is successful, then I'm a writer.
Yes.
You know, I'm an author.
So let's talk about generational stuff.
Yeah. Generational stuff.
So if you were, okay, so Griffin's 9 years old and you're 22 years old. How do you bridge? I mean, realistically, I mean, that could be your kid here in the next few years if you ever decide to go out on a date with anybody.
Thanks for calling me out, Chris.
I'm calling him out.
If I ever decide to.
Any of you young women, text him. Anyway, no.
Sure.
Anyway, he, but I mean, there's a big enough an age gap.
Yeah.
How do you think's the best way to make the age gap between someone like him and then even with you and I? Because most people, it's a difficult, it's hard to make that adjustment to understand someone that's 59 years younger than you.
Right, sure. Well, that's why we have generations, and it's really remarkable how accurate the stereotypes are for each generation. Obviously, there's outliers, but for the most part, a person in a generation, if you look up like all the defining factors of the generation, it's like, yeah, it's pretty spot on. Like, for my generation, a lot of it was, growing up post 9/11. So it was, you have a lot more government overreach and private security and things. And then you start to have involvement with like your smartphone and stuff.
And that's a real conversation you have with your peers?
Yeah. Well, it's, it's just kind of what it is now that the government quote unquote big brother from that book 1984 by George Orwell. It's kind of like in everything that you do, and our generation is so anti-establishment. We're just kind of like, we'll do things our own way, and we don't like the old system. And so from generation to generation, you can kind of have similarities. Like when Griffin grows up, he's probably going to experience a lot of the same things that I did. And so we can connect on that. But when there's wider swaths of gap between like your generation and his, it's harder because you don't have the same experiences growing up.
So here's an observation. Mm-hmm. So we believed, my age group, mm-hmm. that we were anti-establishment.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we walked out of school in junior high school because of the Vietnam War.
Well, yes, okay.
But
That's
it was
true.
Anti-establishment mm-hmm. for that time.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, all my people
are the establishment.
And
mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, this is a bunch of crap.
Right.
And so I'm like, wait a minute. And I think this is where people get confused.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're kind of anti-establishment. I'm like, no. We're anti-establishment. And you're like, well, no, okay, wait a minute. We're anti-your establishment.
Yes. Yeah, we point fingers at
and
you.
And then older people get like, well, what's so bad about what we did?
Exactly.
Because before what we did, we were, a couple of seconds ago, you had to wear jeans in school. I mean, you weren't allowed to wear jeans in school.
That's crazy.
God forbid a T-shirt.
Really?
Oh my gosh, you weren't allowed to wear a T-shirt and jeans. That was,
Well, I'm doing good. You're wearing a T-shirt. I'm wearing a button-down. What's going on here?
Well, my daughter brought me this.
What does it say?
It says, it's got a... Here, you can read it.
Well, that's not a good sign, and it's a sign that says the word bad on it. That's the most boomer shirt
my
I've
daughter
ever seen in my
buys
life.
me. It just shows up in the mail because that's what she does. She thinks I'm old. Anyway, so how do you break that gap? And be okay, we're a Christian podcast. I don't know if we're going to hit Jesus today, but
well, we can.
But
sure,
Jesus,
we did it. Now, pressing matters.
Okay, but how do I talk to you and make you not feel diminished or not diminished? That's not the right word.
Disconnected.
That I'm establishment.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, no, we're establishment.
Right. I think that's because if you ever. Have you ever talked to somebody who is like from another country and you try to like connect with them and they're just kind of like,
they don't get it.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like the basis of their reality is so far removed from yours that you have nothing to connect on.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where do we even begin? Right. So it might sound just immediately discouraging hearing that, but with our generation, with our generational differences and our gaps, it really is. It's like, just exposure therapy. The reason why I get along so well with middle schoolers is because I do middle school ministry a lot. And the reason why I can actually understand what the heck Griffin is talking about is because I'm around that. Okay. And I understand that. So it really is just surround yourself with those people.
With those people.
With the youngins, the Utes, as you say.
Utes.
Yeah, see, we don't say that.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah, we don't
Greatest
say that.
Movie ever. We don't watch it. There's a lot of swearing.
Oh, okay, I won't watch it.
Lots of swearing.
All right.
Yeah, don't touch your knee with my knee.
Oh,
man.
all right.
It's really.
I might have to do a lot of swearing.
So there's this story when I first got in real estate back in '97.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day.
Were you born then?
I was 2001.
No, you were one.
I was 5 days before 9/11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 9/11 was 2001.
Yeah.
So 97
Yeah.
would be you were not born yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Just a couple years later.
Okay. So anyway, when I got started, I would sell these houses in the inner city of Cleveland,
mm-hmm.
and people would come in and they're like, "This is amazing! It's like a $30,000 house."
Right.
And at that time, it wasn't a lot of money, which it still isn't a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it basically had a roof over its head.
Mm-hmm.
It had running water, and it
mm-hmm.
had, and so there were in Cleveland. There's a huge population of immigrants from Catholic charities.
Okay.
A lot of the Afghanistans have come to Cleveland.
Okay.
I mean, they have a great. I can't even think of the right word, but ministries for those people. And they're living in these houses that are like, this is like I wouldn't live there. We'll just say it like that.
Yeah.
And then I went on my first mission trip to South Africa, to Gabon, to Ukraine, not to
Uganda.
Uganda. Started with you. But anyway, and you see what people live in, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I understand.
That's the norm.
And so relate that to younger people. It's like, unless you go actually see things from their perspective,
right,
you'll never understand.
Yeah, and you'll never connect with them, because if it's your goal to do like a ministry outreach or something where you're trying to reach the youths in your neighborhood, or if you're trying to get more people connected with your own youth program, and you're like a baby boomer and you've never
never played a game. I used to play 007 with my son Chris.
Oh yeah, and
he would go start and poof, I was dead.
Yeah, right.
Start. Okay, let's start again. Poof, I was dead.
Done. Yeah.
And I took the controller, I threw it against the wall. I'm like, I ain't playing with you.
Did you really? You just broke your son's controller?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I paid for it, so it was
right. It's your controller, right? I'll break my controller.
Obviously, I was in control, but I would never play because I just.
You have no idea.
None.
You had no foundation.
I didn't have the time to learn.
Yes.
And so it takes time to learn.
Yeah.
Other people's generation.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in that collective. They have it's a ministry at our church collective.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't want like someone 25 years older coming in and telling you, right? I mean,
well, we have a lot of that. Well, because it's so yes, we have a lot of younger pastors. We have a lot of younger speakers, but we do have like Pastor Bernard Scott speaks, and he's really good with connecting with Gen Z and millennials, I guess. But yeah, mostly the next gen ministry is pretty much just Gen Z and Gen Alpha right now. And he's really good with connecting with them because he spends a lot of time with them. And so they do have people that do, like they'll have guest speakers. Like they'll have Charlotte Gamble come in. And she's Generation X. But she's kind of known for speaking at youth conferences a lot and connecting with youth a lot. So they bring her in because she's so good already with my generation.
But okay, here I am. I'm like, oh yeah, but I want to build into these lives. I'm not a speaker.
Right.
Isn't it kind of creepy for like a 67-year-old guy to come in and go, oh, I'm here to support you kids. And what you're going where? You're going to go to Applebee's afterwards and sit around and talk?
Yeah.
Don't you want to get down and serious with me? Right?
Well, you say that, and I think you're trying to tell me something about the high school ministry on Wednesdays, that you think that they all think you're weird.
They do.
They don't. Everybody loves you, Chris, and you always beat yourself up. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you that the next gen doesn't hate you. You can connect well with middle and high schoolers because you've been around it a bit, and they connect well with you. Heck, I connected well with you. Here we are.
But you have to like have bound. I'm never going to be 22 years old again.
Right. Yes.
So to act like I'm 22, I guess that's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
How should a person like me act around your age group so that we're not like, oh no, man.
Right. There's a meme.
I'm hip.
Yeah. There's a meme of Steve Buscemi with like a backwards hat and a T-shirt that's got like the AC/DC font. It says Rock Band, and he's got a skateboard over, and he's clearly like 50, and he goes, hello fellow kids, and it's like perfectly encapsulates I think what you're trying to say is like you don't have to try to be 22 to connect with a 22-year-old.
Okay.
You can still be very much yourself, and there is a lot of, I guess you could say, stigma with younger kids, because we had a thing for a while. It was like, okay boomer, of like a dismissive remark for your generation of like, go away, we don't want to hear from you.
I know, and that's what older people are afraid of.
Yeah.
You're like, because I used to be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe not cool.
You used to be anti-establishment, and now you are the establishment. You became the thing that you sought to destroy. So these things, they slowly change over time. But I think what really is with being able to minister to a younger generation is like what you started to say, is knowing a boundary, is because there's a certain time and a place for a person like you to minister
right.
to the younger generation, because you have more of like a father figure role as opposed to Jordan Breon, who's the youth director, who is more of like the older brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
let's see how far we can push the limit, right?
Yeah, the envelope here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, because
he does stuff, and I'm like,
are you serious?
I think it's time for me to leave.
Yes, I think it's time for me to step in and take over here.
I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you have a role, because you know how it is being a father, and you know how it is being a brother,
Right.
And so you know the difference there.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like that, where you take a role of like, you're not playing tackle football with them,
No.
but you are going to be able to speak into their life situations. Whereas
Or I
the
can
older
bust
brother,
their chops while they're playing
right,
football.
from a distance on the
Yes.
sidelines.
Yes.
And give them life advice, while the older brother is going to be the one to be more on their level, physically and verbally.
You started back up and helping with the junior high and the high school, or just the junior high?
In just junior high.
Okay.
Hopefully in high school soon.
And so, is it because do you feel like you're more connected and that you have something to share now that you've got a full-time job?
You are just railing on me. My goodness, with this
I've been
full-time
sitting with
job
my
thing.
kids for 4, 5, 6 days,
Uh-huh.
and it's been a lot of chopping.
Oh yeah, chopping it up with the boys.
Yeah.
And with the girls. Yeah. But it's now that I have a full-time job, I don't have the time to do the high school ministry, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I took a break for a while where I was like, I'm going to step back from serving in youth, because I thought I was going to do something else, and that didn't end up working out. That's kind of like my thing, is every month there's something else with me that I think I'm going to do for a career or something, and it always changes. And I'm fully aware of this and how ridiculous it looks.
Yeah, I won't.
To your generation.
I won't mention
Right?
it.
No, you
today.
can't. You'll mention it tomorrow, though. But yeah, I'm always, and that's, I guess, a thing with my generation as well, is we're all over the place. But yeah, I feel like I'm back with serving with middle school just because I'm called to that for this season of my life. It's like, I don't really need to leave. I still have the time, and I still have the ability to continue to serve, so I might as well.
Well, at the end of your life, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not. I know that it's a cliche, but it's like it's not really your job, and it's all those things. You look back and say, "Do you know that when I'm dying, that I'm going to say, did you know how many hours I put in last week?"
Right.
I'm going to be thinking about the people that I've built into their lives. I'm
Absolutely.
going to think about, yes, you still have. We have to go to work. Yes, I need to earn an income for my family.
Right.
Yes, all those other things, but I have to figure out. This is the world according to Chris. I have to figure out how I can be in the room with the people I want to be an influencer. Go back to Griffin.
Yes.
If you want to be an influencer
Okay.
in people's lives, you've got to be in the room. And I think that that's what you're doing with the next generation for you.
Yeah, I think so too. That's funny you say that, influencer, because when you say the word influencer, immediately your mind goes to Logan Paul or Jake Paul, those two blonde-haired brothers that are boxers, or your mind might go to, you don't even know who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Because those are like the biggest influencers. I figured you'd even know who those people are.
No.
Or your mind might go to somebody who plays video games, or your mind might go to, but ultimately it's, we live in a society, we live in a generation or a time now where there are so many influences.
Okay.
Influencers, you can pick and choose every aspect of your life. You can choose which subscription service you have for which TV shows. You can watch whatever movie whenever you want. You could watch whatever YouTube video with whichever influencer you want to choose. You can just down to the wire select every little intimate aspect of your life and tune it to whatever you want.
You can fine tune.
You can fine tune every aspect of your intake, of your entertainment, of your information, of your news, your education, whatever you want now. And what it really comes down to is, how is it that we can still make the gospel of Jesus Christ applicable in the society where people can just kind of brush it off and go, I don't want that.
Because at the end of the day, that's all that really counts, when you feel like you've participated in something bigger than yourself.
Right. How am I going to influence other people for the gospel? How am I going to tell other people? Because it's the one thing that matters most above all else is what happens after you die. That's the one question that everybody's asking. What happens after you die? Or like, what do you do with this? Is there a God question, right? And so, we have to make sure that we are able to still influence people for the sake of the kingdom of God.
And that never stops.
Right. And that never stops. And I think people get that wrong, is they think that this is a new problem, is this, well, there's too many influencers and there's too many streams of whatever. And it's like, yes, but there's always been that to a degree. There's always been a thing you can subscribe to, whether it be right or wrong. And there is the straight and narrow in the middle of that somewhere. And not everybody finds it, unfortunately, but it's our job to let people know that there is a straight and narrow and what it leads to.
So, what, other than the high school, do you think that you have an influence in people's lives?
I think people are really attuned to the fact that I am funny to laugh at.
And
people laugh
you
at
actually
me a
thought
lot.
about being a comedian. And
I did.
That lasted one night, right?
It lasted one night of open mic night, and I was like, this is not gonna work. No, people laugh at me a lot. No, I'm good with connecting
You're
with
funny.
people. Thank you.
You're a funny guy.
I try to be.
He dances well too on the stage. When we go to the youth group and they start playing music, he's up down on stage. You have such a natural stage presence. Did
For a
you
white
take
guy.
tap lessons or something?
For a white guy, I'm good at dancing. That's all I'll say. But it's pretty stiff. I'll say that. No, but
it's I don't want to say it's funny. It's funny.
Yes. No, I'm good with breaking that initial barrier. Breaking the ice is a good way to do that, is making them laugh.
Okay.
And I'm good with that. I can pretty much
Am I allowed to put my leg up like this?
Kind of gay, but you can do whatever you want.
You can't say that.
It's whatever. Nobody's watching at this point anymore.
Yeah, they're already done.
But I'm good at making people laugh. I'm good at breaking the barrier of like, how do I introduce myself in a natural way? I'm good at getting through to people. I pride myself in being able to talk to anybody, and through that I'm able to, I don't have to immediately go, hey, do you know about Jesus? Do you know about your Lord and Savior Jesus
You don't
Christ?
have to go intent.
Right. I don't have to be super intense. But the intention is I'm going to live a certain way, and I'm going to lead by example, and that's going to make you want to listen to me more, which through just natural conversation, it will inevitably come up that I will share my faith with you.
Right. And you're good with that.
Thank you.
You're good with that.
Yeah.
You're good with that.
I think everybody should try to be good with that.
Yeah. And it's not like you just need to tell your story.
Right.
This is what happened.
Testimony.
This is what I was like. This is
People
what
connect with
happened.
that.
And now this is what I'm doing.
Exactly. There's a reason why testimony is so important and so powerful. Because people connect with personal stories like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what I think needs to happen is you need to find a room to be in. And I use it,
Yes.
lightly, but so I do Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, okay, this is my room. I'm going to have breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk with people, and I'm going to talk about what God put on my mind today.
Yeah.
I have another guy that does teaching, and he's like a Bible teacher. He actually teaches.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's building into people's lives and letting them make decisions.
Yes.
Okay? I used to do the youth and just being in the room, knowing, okay, I'm going to be in the room.
Right.
A lot of times there's nights I didn't talk to anybody. But by the time I was done, and we kind of both disappeared for a little bit, 52 weeks ago.
Yeah, right. Oh, boy, already? That was so fast. It was already a year ago.
But I would go in the room, and people, hey, Meekins, and I would all be happy to see me. And then they'd go play with their friends.
Right.
And I had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because a couple times they called me over to the side and said, hey, I want to talk to you about this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Someone had said, they just need to see an adult man that's not angry, that loves Jesus, and that actually loves their wife. Believe me, they know everything about you. You don't have to say a word.
Yeah, kids are good with picking up on that.
And so being in the room and not trying to be the center of attention,
right?
Which is really difficult for me and you. I mean,
look at us.
We
have a camera pointed at us on a podcast. We don't need to have the camera, but we chose a camera. It's all about the appearance.
It is.
Yeah.
But when I'm with other people, it's trying to put them first. It's trying to put, their needs first and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So, and then there's other things that I do. But
sure.
How do we reach the next generation? Let's wrap up with that.
Yeah. I think what it really comes down to is you lead by example. And it was like, okay, what does that mean? You said a really good point there. It's not that I have to. How do I connect with the next generation? What do I do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? What do I have to do to do? Sometimes it speaks volumes just to show that there is an adult man. It is possible to be an adult man who loves Jesus, who loves his wife, who loves serving other people, and who is just available.
It's not about me.
Right.
It is.
It is. Ultimately, it really is. Come on. But just be there, be available, and because everybody can gain something from whatever generation, whether it be older or younger. And so I would say for somebody like us is just be available, because you never know what somebody might need from you.
Right.
And just say, I'm going to lead by example, because you'd be surprised what opportunities you're given when people just come up to you.
And go figure. We can wrap this up with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
What did Jesus tell us to do? Go love people.
Go love people. Yeah.
And that's what you're like, okay, I'm going to love people.
Yeah.
My wife is the queen of loving people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got a servant gift.
Right.
And, you walk in the house and, I mean, there's beds for everybody. Like I said, there's people are like, how do you fit 11 people in there? Well, my wife figured it out.
She'll make it work.
And she'll make it work.
She's expert with that.
And she'll make everybody feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about using your gift. You're just like, well, when you do what you do naturally, and you love, and you're doing it because God's called you to love people, the way you know how to do it.
Right.
Not like if I got up there before a Wednesday night group and tried to be a comedian, it would be disastrous.
Right.
But those kids, they see me and they're like cheering for me, Meek.
Yep.
And I'm for walking in the room. I haven't said anything for like 5 weeks.
Right.
But they all know me.
Yeah.
They all know my personality.
Mm-hmm.
They know, they know that I'm going to bust, just I'm going to push them back.
Right. Oh yeah.
But when we be who God's called us to be, and in my quiet time, I was reading this morning, and it's just like, be the man that God created you to be.
Exactly.
And then go and just hang out with people and love them.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know it, you are a influencer in the community that God's called you to be. I mean, and you may not see it.
Right. You might not know it. You might feel like it's not working.
But then all of a sudden, like on Monday, I went to a men's group on Monday, and I made a comment about Ephesians 2, which is what we're reading in church.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy sitting there, he goes, you know what, Chris? I wrote something about you, and I wrote a description. And he read it in front of these like 10 guys, and I'm like so embarrassed. It was the kindest thing that anybody's ever written about me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I love Chris Meekins.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, because you do what you do, Chris Meekins.
Yes.
And that's what we're encouraging you to do, is when you do Will, you do Chris, when you do Sam and Mary and Joseph and Peter and Paul,
there you go.
You are an influencer, and you don't even know about it.
That's amazing. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching
this.
If Griffin, you're still watching, thank you so much for hitting the like button and subscribing.
Yes. Send it to your friends.
Yeah, send it to everybody that you know, and you can show them, hey, look, I'm an influencer. We'll see you next week.
See you. Bye.
Peace.